What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Sports. Phillies win a series. They win 3 of 4 so far, with another game to go tomorrow. Final game of the series will be tomorrow afternoon with Taijuan Walker on the mound. That's why it was uber important to get the victory tonight to try to at least set up a chance to sweep the Washington Nationals tomorrow. And I'm still demanding a sweep, even though I can handle winning 3 of 4 because a 4-game series is hard to sweep regardless of the opponent you face. But the Phillies put themselves in that predicament of all the losing the past couple of weeks, and I want them to sweep the series. So you set yourself up with that chance and with that opportunity, and kudos to, because of the opportunity that you're in right now, Cristopher Sanchez. Cristopher Sanchez was just absolutely dynamic on the mound. He was great. Complete game. Only allowed 2 hits in this ball game, and yeah, the only run that the Washington Nationals scored was on a solo shot, but basically besides that, it was just ground out, ground out, ground out, maybe the strikeout here and there, maybe a pop-up here and there, but just overall, Cristopher Sanchez was just absolutely fantastic. Quick inning after quick inning after quick inning. I think he only threw like 98, 99 pitches in this game for the complete game, so hey, I'll take it. I'll take rest in the bullpen today because you know you're never guaranteed what type of performance you're going to get from Taijuan Walker tomorrow. And hey, you just saved the bullpen for tomorrow, and that is really good there. Phillies offense through most of the game definitely had some opportunities and got some unluckiness at the same time. The first inning, Trey Turner got robbed in the outfield by one of the Nationals outfielders. Bryce Harper got robbed at first base, which turned into a double play. And there were a couple of situations where they had base runners early in the ball game, and the Nationals defense did play very well, very shockingly, in this game at some points. But eventually, when the Phillies got their base runners and when the Nationals took that 1-0 lead, the Phillies basically just instantly responded and went off to score a lot of runs, which is very huge, Alec Bohm coming up, Nick Castellanos coming up, JT coming up clutch, Johan Rojas coming up clutch with a really fantastic at bat after the Nationals go to the bullpen. So overall, they got some good hitting, and they were eventually going to hit with all those chances that they were getting early on in the ball game. It was just a matter of time. And to people that eventually join here, or if you're also subscribed to BrodesMedia, which probably I would expect that because a lot of the Brodes people and members are subscribed over here. And if you didn't see in the Brodes Discord, where for some reason every time and I was doing this jokingly just because it was working. So every time I talked negative about the team, that's when they responded. So basically the entire chat was, Amadeo, just keep talking negative because for some reason they just keep scoring when you talk negative. And I did it jokingly. So, and it worked to an extent. It worked to an extent where they scored 5 runs. Man. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff overall. That is just honestly absolutely funny there. But yeah, got yourself a series win. That's very important. And, bouncing back, and right now it does look like this team has found their spark again after, Kyle Schwarber's grand slam a couple of days ago in that final game against the Miami Marlins. It looked like they found some type of swag. It looked like they found some type of spark. The pitching definitely has been a lot better. Yeah, granted, you are facing different quality of competition when you're playing the Miami Marlins, when you're playing the Washington Nationals. At the end of the day, I don't care as long as you find a way to get confidence, because confidence can take you such a very long way, and that's what this team desperately needed at this point. And right now it looks like they're playing with a lot of confidence, and there's some players that I do want to point out there. JT has looked a lot better at the plate. Trey Turner has looked fantastic basically at the plate since, his quote-unquote benching or the off day that Rob Thompson gave him in that final game against Miami. Trey Turner has looked absolutely fantastic. Weston Wilson has had his moments. Obviously, he had the cycle the other day, and he had a couple of hits in today's ball game as well. Johan Rojas, ever since being forced back into the lineup because of the Austin Hayes injury, he's been very solid, and he's done way more than I expected him to in the 9-hole. He's been coming up big in certain situations, and I, can't ask any more there from Johan Rojas other than him and his defense out there in center field. He's been having some good at-bats lately, and, good for him. Good for him. Bryce Harper's still here and there. He was, I would say, very inconsistent in this series, so not the full version of Bryce Harper that we do expect, but he does look like he is getting better at the plate in certain situations. Schwarber's off and on, so when Schwarber really gets going, you know that's going to happen. Alec Boehm is still getting hits left and right. He's still getting on base left and right. I believe he extended his on base streak once again tonight, so he has been basically the utmost of consistency with his lineup. Same thing with Nick Castellanos. He continues to drive the ball and, driving some runs in. So, really good stuff. And right now, there's not much more I could complain about because you did get a series win. But I do, at the end of the day, I do demand a sweep, and I'm going to stick to that purpose, and I'm going to stick to that expectation because I do want you to sweep this Nationals team because I think it's just very important in order to do that. And you also did it yesterday. You got help with the standings with the Atlanta Braves losing against the Los Angeles Angels. So not really sure what's going to happen with them tonight in LA. But hey, all that matters is that you win your games, and if you get help with the standings, you get help with the standings. That's just out of your control at the end of the day. And it's really important right now for this team to build some confidence while you're going to be having, after this series, you're going to have having a very tough stretch in terms of the schedule upcoming after, this Nats series. That's why I think it's very important to find a way to get a sweep and just continue to build that confidence because you're playing the Braves on the road next. Same thing with the Kansas City Royals following that. And then you got a home series against the Astros, and the Astros have been playing 20 billion times better baseball than they were in the first half of the season. They've been one of the hotter teams in the league, and you're also playing another four game series at home against the Atlanta Braves once again. So you're seeing the Atlanta Braves very frequently in the next couple of weeks, and if you can get some wins against them, where you have struggled to do this season, that could really make some difference in the separation in the National League East standings. And whatever the Mets do, they seem to have some good games. They have some bad games. They're a very hot and cold team from this point. I believe they're only like a few games above 500. So it really just depends on what version of the Mets comes to plate basically that specific day. But right now, you control your own fate. And it looks like right now, at this very moment, the Phillies got their confidence back for the time being. Still not to the fullest extent. And, I see a lot of people are jumping back on the bandwagon, which, yeah, I don't blame them because they're actually giving you a good quality product the past couple of days. I've been very much enjoying watching the Phillies the past couple of days because it hasn't been very egregious, very grueling, very eye gauging or anything like that, or eye gouging. Pronounced that completely wrong. But yeah, it's been very much needed change of pace watching this team. But I do want to still see more. I do want to still see more. I think this team did find their confidence again, which is the utmost of importance. But I do want to see it building off of after once you stop playing, the teams below 500 and all that stuff, even though I do think it's still important that you're finding that confidence, especially against teams that are not that good. I still want to see this grow and continue to expand to where you start playing the baseball again that we all know you're capable of. And it looks like they're slowly starting to get back into that groove. And that's a really good sign for the near future. But we just got to see it progress and progress and progress because we always kept saying that this team was way too talented to be playing that poorly. And I still stand by that, even though all those other recaps and stuff were just venting frustration and going off the deep end saying a lot of irrational stuff. Until they proved you wrong, you couldn't help but say that stuff. Right now, it looks like they're going into a direction where it does seem positive. They look, their body language seems like they're more relaxed. They're not tensed. They don't look like they're filled with pressure. It looks like they're just going out there and, taking it one step at a time. And they're not trying to let everything come to them at once when it looked like they were trying to do everything at once when they were losing so many games and so many series. So, and now in the past 3 series, you've won 2 of 3 series if you want to look at that as a positivity. So let's continue to see this thing progress further and see if they can go back to just the winning baseball that we know this team is capable of. And you got a series win here, but like I said, I still demand winning 4, getting a sweep against this Nationals team because I do think it's possible, regardless of Taijuan Walker's on the mound tomorrow or not. I would like to see the offense, go off a little bit more. offense definitely was better than it was on Friday. They actually started to hit more with runners in scoring position in the later stages when they got those chances. I believe it was in the 5th or the 6th inning or something like that. So just continue to progress, continue to find that confidence, and, we'll see where this thing takes us. We'll see where this thing takes us. And right now, I'm actually having fun watching this baseball team again. So I guess that's the most important thing here. We're all having fun for the time being watching this baseball team again. So, looking at this game as a whole, if we want to look at how things basically transpired, Cristopher Sanchez definitely was the major name of today's game. 9 innings, complete game, 2 hits allowed, only 1 earned run, which was a home run allowed, and 4 strikeouts and 0 walks on 99 pitches. He threw 71 strikes, so that's how locked in Cristopher Sanchez was in tonight's game, and that's very good. Very good stuff there. Phillies as a total, they went 4 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Look at the bottom half of the lineup, and those are the guys that did the damage for you. Bohm had an RBI, Castellanos had an RBI, JT with an RBI, Sosa and Rojas also had RBIs in there. So good stuff there from your bottom part of the lineup. And just looking as the innings progress, just a lot of 1, 2, 3 innings there for Cristopher Sanchez. Really the same thing for the Phillies, but the top, the bottom of the first inning, Kyle Schwarber got in on an infield single, but then Bryce Harper got unlucky with, lining one right to first base, which turned into a double play. Trey Turner got robbed by the right fielder of the Nationals after he, got good wood on the ball. So just a little bit of unluckiness there. Nick Castellanos got robbed by Wood out there in left field. So the Nationals were actually making some good defensive plays. Bottom third, Weston Wilson led off with a single. Then Sosa grounded into a fielder's choice. Nothing really happened there. Bottom of the 4th inning, Trey Turner led off with a walk. But then Bryce Harper grounded into a double play. You're like, oh, God. But then Alec Bohm worked a 2-out walk after falling down 0-2 in the count. And then Nick Castellanos' first pitch hacking sends a ball into the gap, which managed to score Bohm from first base. And hey, you responded instantly. After the Nats take the 1-0 lead, you tie it up at 1. Then in the bottom of the 6th inning, after a couple of good innings there by Cristopher Sanchez, a couple of 1, 2, 3s there. Bottom of the 6th, Trey Turner with a leadoff double. Alec Bohm singles to score Trey Turner. Castellanos then singles, so you got first and second there. JT then gets an RBI single up the center field, makes it a 3-1 game. Weston Wilson grounds into a fielder's choice, so you get first and third there with 2 outs. Edmundo Sosa actually with a first pitch hacking sends the ball the other way for a single, becomes 4-1. Then the Nationals go to the bullpen. Rojas up at the plate, works a good at bat, works a full count, finds a way to get a sinker right down the middle of the plate, finds a way to rope it in the center field, scores another run there. RBI hit, 5-1 Phillies, and that's basically the rest of the offense for the game. Cristopher Sanchez strikes out he gets 2 strikeouts there in the top of the 7th inning. Very clean top of the 8th inning after a leadoff single, gets a double play to end the inning off there. Top of the 9th, he did get a throwing error by Trey Turner there, but basically that was all the damage that the Nationals can muster there in the top of the 9th inning. Cristopher Sanchez was just that good in today's game. So now, that is your 73rd win of the year. You're 23 games above 500. That is your 42nd win at home. And hey, nice win to help honor David Montgomery with him going into the Wall of Fame tonight. And it was a nice gesture naming that corner there in left center field on the wall, calling it Monty's Corner. I know a lot of people are probably going to find that name very corny, but I thought it was a nice gesture there to honor David Montgomery. He has done so many things for this Phillies franchise and for this city, so it was just a good night all around. Good night all around. So that's basically it from that standpoint. Looking at the lineup today, Kyle Schwarber, he goes 1 for 4. Trey Turner 1 for 3 with a walk. So Trey Turner was fantastic in the series. He raised his average back to 309. So hopefully that can continue to go there. Bryce Harper, definitely a quiet game, 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Alec Bohm, he goes 1 for 3 with an RBI and a walk and 2 runs scored. Nick Castellanos goes 2 for 4. He's slowly raising that average. It's almost around 250. Think of where Nick Castellanos was at the beginning of the year. Average was right around near the 200s. So he's been playing a lot better, and I think that's going a little bit under the radar there. JT Realmuto goes 1 for 4 with an RBI. Weston Wilson 2 for 4. Edmundo Sosa 1 for 3 with an RBI, and Johan Rojas 1 for 3 with an RBI. Look at Weston Wilson's numbers, actually. since being called back up. So far on the year, he's batting .341 with a .362 on base and a .633 slugging. So that's around what I would say a .998 OPS. So Weston Wilson definitely has been swinging a good bat, and can't blame him for keeping in the lineup at this point. But I wouldn't be shocked if Brandon Marsh is in the lineup tomorrow against a righty for the Nationals. I think that's what's going to be the case. I think Irvin's on the mound for them, so that's a right-handed pitcher. Marsh and Stott are definitely going to get back into the lineup tomorrow, so I wouldn't be shocked if that's the case whatsoever. But you really can't blame Rob Thompson if he goes right back to Weston Wilson, because that's how good he's been since being put in that role. His numbers get called, and he's contributing. Granted, he's not going to hit a first cycle every single time, but he's been contributing, and that's the most important thing there. So yeah, if we look at tomorrow's game, like I said, it's Taijuan Walker going up against Jake Irvin for the Nationals. Jake Irvin, he's 9-10 with a .372 ERA. He's given up a lot of home runs this year, so maybe that's a sign of good things for the Phillies. Looking at his last few starts, he went 6 innings against the Baltimore Orioles, only allowed 2 earned runs. Went 5 innings against the Giants, allowed 5. Went 5 2/3 against the Brewers, allowed 4 earned runs. Went 5 1/3 against the Cardinals, allowed 2. So basically, he's been average, I would say. So Phillies offense definitely, I would like to see them go off again tomorrow to help Taijuan Walker out, because like I said, you're not guaranteed what Taijuan Walker is going to give you out there on the mound. It's just completely obvious there. Taijuan Walker, 3-4 with a .568 ERA. His first start back in the rotation definitely was not pretty against the Miami Marlins. So I wonder how much they're going to stretch him tomorrow. So what, he was at a 80 pitch limit against the Marlins and only went 4 innings. I'm sure that's going to be stretched out a little bit more. Maybe they'll try to push him for 5 innings or something like that. And that makes it even more important why Cristopher Sanchez went the distance. It saves your bullpen. Save your bullpen for tomorrow, because you're probably going to have to use the bullpen mightily tomorrow, depending on what Taijuan Walker does. So that's a really good thing right there. Definitely a really good thing right there. Trying to see if there's anything else post-game on this, because there really wasn't much highlight-wise that was actually posted by the Phillies or the NBC Sports Philly account, because they really only post the big stuff, and basically all their RBIs came on RBI singles, and sometimes you got to play small ball for things to get going. Okay, actually, the Phillies Twitter actually did their stuff there. So let's get to that a little bit there before we get to a call on the Anytime Hotline and some of you guys here in the live chat. So let's get to it. Let's get some of these highlights right here.
I tell you, attaboy, Nick.
That's out to right center field. Bohm is already around second. He's going to third. He's going to score easily. Castellanos at second. We are tied up at 1. RBI double. 62 ribbies for Castellanos.
Good stuff there by Nicky C. Then we get Alec Bohm here fighting off a 2-2 pitch to get the Phillies to lead.
To the right side. Can it leak through? It can. Turner's being waved. He's going to score. RBI single for Bohm. It's a 2-1 game.
We got JT here with a 2-0 count.
Oh, boy, here we go.
Line drive, base into center field. Bohm will score. The throw goes to third. That's a good job by Young. But an RBI single. The Phillies are up 3-1.
Then you start hitting them off.
Make it 9, an RBI single. Castellanos scores. Bobbled by Call. 3 runs are in.
They also combined that with the Edmundo Sosa RBI hit. And here's Johan Rojas's RBI single with a 3-2 count.
Line drive and base hit it to center field. Wilson will score. Will hold Sosa. 5-1 Phillies. All singles.
Easy game.
Yeah, sometimes singles is the name of the game, and that's what the Phillies basically did right there. Let's see the daycare start to douse Cristopher Sanchez with the water.
Yeah, extremely well. I felt well the whole game. And as you said, the fans lifted me today, and I love pitching home, and I felt really good today.
Yeah. You guys did a nice job with the headset, too, by the way. You guys did a really good job, Diego, with that.
Marshy and Stotty never change. I would like you to change your approach to the plate, but don't change when you do all the post-game stuff. Rob Thompson on Cristopher Sanchez after his second complete game of the season. He'd be a number 1 on a lot of teams. High praise there for Cristopher Sanchez. High praise there from Topper. And obviously, Topper's going to probably say that about his guy. Not shocked there at the slightest. See if there's anything else here. No, not really on that case. But let's get to the anytime hotlines. There. So Sean's got a voicemail. Let's see what Sean's got to say. After this win, I'm sure Sean still wants to sweep tomorrow like I do. He says it in the chat right here. Sweep is a must tomorrow. I agree. But let's see what Sean has to say voicemail-wise on this win.
Special night at Citizens Bank Park for sure. First of all, that was Roy Halladay-style pitching by Cristopher Sanchez tonight. You know, workmanlike effort, throwing strikes, and hey, you know, strikeouts are nice in the box score, but for me, if you want to work deep in games, pitch to contact. Use your defense and record quick outs, and that's exactly what he did. Nice ceremony for Montgomery. Great for me to see some of the old Phillies that I watched when I was a kid. Makes me feel old seeing how gray and pruny they are now, but a great ceremony, class by Middleton to hand out those rings, which are probably more expensive than people's homes, but a well-deserved honor for Dave Montgomery. Finally, off topic, Amadeo, you brought it up at the end of my call last night. Kenny Pickett sucks. Tanner McKee should be QB number 2. Pickett is to the Eagles what Taiwan Walker is to the Phillies. You keep him around only because of what you gave up to get him. That's the only justification for keeping him in midnight green. Bring on Tanner McKee for that number 2 spot, baby.
Honestly, I completely forgot that I even said that at the end of your call last night, but thank you for remembering that. Yeah, Tanner McKee, backup quarterback number 2. That's what I take away from the Phillies winning a series against the Nationals. Oh, God. But yeah. It definitely is going to be weird now when eventually the Phillies start deciding to put some of the, the players from the 2007 to 2011 team in the Wall of Fame, eventually when Jimmy, Chase, and Ryan Howard get in there, eventually when Cole Hamels gets in there, because those 4 are going to get in there eventually. Carlos Ruiz probably will get in there eventually. Definitely Shane Victorino. Like, I'm sure all of those guys, most likely that were on that team for that entire run, is most likely going to be on the Wall of Fame at some point. Would Jason Worth be on the Wall of Fame at some point? Maybe. I'm not sure if Jason Worth would be. But I know, like, Jimmy's going to be on there. Chase is going to be on there. Ryan Howard's going to be on there. Cole Hamels is going to be on there. Carlos Ruiz probably is going to be on there. Shane Victorino's probably going to be on there. Those are like the 6 guys that I could think off the top of my head that'll probably be in the Wall of Fame. So, like, that's, I'm not sure when those guys are eventually going to get into the Wall, because I have no idea what else they even have to think of for the Wall of Fame now, because it was David Montgomery this year. Who was it last year that got into the Wall of Fame? Was it Dan Baker? Was Dan Baker last year's Wall of Fame inductee? I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember. Phillies Wall of Fame, actually. Let me see. Phillies Wall of Fame. Who was on there right now? Who was inducted last year? Okay, 3 people were inducted last year. So it was Ruley Carpenter, John Quinn, and Scott Rowland that were into the Wall of Fame. Okay, interesting. So we are getting closer and closer towards that. I'm sure Dan Baker will be in the Wall of Fame at any time now when he eventually does retire. Yeah. I'm sure if Sean's saying he feels old watching some of those older Phillies get older, imagine how he's going to feel when you eventually see when you see J-Roll, Chase, Ryan Howard, all those other guys from the 2007 to 2011 team into the Wall of Fame. That'll be funny. Imagine something. This would be very funny. As we all know, with Cliff Lee, no one has fucking seen him since he's retired. Imagine if they find him to get him out of the woodwork to put him in the Wall of Fame. I don't think that's going to happen, but that would be fucking hilarious if that was the case. That would be fucking hilarious if that was the case, if they put Cliff Lee in the Wall of Fame and somehow, some way they found him wherever completely off the grid that he went. That would be very funny. But yeah, man. Yeah, good night all around honoring David Montgomery, man. Definitely highly deserved. So, gotta appreciate it. Gotta appreciate it. But, you know, I wonder how it'll be, like I said, when the 07 through 11 players get inducted into it, because that's from basically my generation, and oof, that's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be crazy when those guys eventually get inducted into the Wall of Fame. But yeah, Tanner McKee, quarterback number 2. That's their major takeaway. That's their major takeaway. I find that very funny. Oh boy, what a day. What a day. So we got, what time is the game tomorrow? I'm assuming it's a 1:30 game. I'm assuming tomorrow is a 1:30 first pitch. Yep, 1:35 first pitch. And then you got the off day on Monday before you go out and play Atlanta and Kansas City. So, yeah. Just find a way to sweep. Find a way to sweep. That's what I demanded at the start of the series, and I'm still going to stick to that goal. That's what I want. That's what I demand. Even though I can accept 3 or 4, I want sweep. I want sweep. I want to go for the jugular. I want to keep this thing rolling, get as many wins as you can here. Build that confidence and keep it going. I think that's the most important thing that this team needs to do right now. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Here's another quote from Rob Thompson post-game. Sanchez was fantastic. He really was. Everything was about his night. His command, his changeup, the sink on his fastball was unbelievable. Of the 27 outs, 19 were either on the ground or a strikeout. It was dominant. Yeah, that's how good and on a roll Cristopher Sanchez was tonight. Fun stuff. Fun stuff indeed. Don't think there's anything else in terms of post-game. Don't think there is. Do not think there is. Oh no, did Streamies actually get Is Streamies actually gone? No, it's gotta be a different one. Yeah. What is this one? What is the freaking the Streamies? I have no idea what it is. I think that's a completely different website. I don't know why. I just found that popped on Twitter. Let's see. Don't think there is anything else. We'll find out, boys. We'll find out. Nope. Let's see. This is from Baseball Paul on Twitter. Complete games pitched in the 2024 season. The NL Central has 2 complete games. The AL West has 3. The AL Central has 3. The rest of the NL East has 3. The NL West has 4, and the AL East has 4, and the Phillies have 5 total. That's actually pretty funny. That is pretty funny. The Phillies have 5 complete games. That's actually pretty funny. It's a good stat to see there. What else? Nope, I don't think there was anything else on the docket here on the Twitterverse. So, if we look at, basically, we already stated the rest of the schedule. It's Taijuan Walker versus Jake Irvin tomorrow. Got to go for the sweep in terms of the NL East standings, because just look at the game separation now. Still got that 9-game lead on the New York Mets, regardless of them winning the first 2 games against the Miami Marlins, so really nothing changes there. And right now you have an 8.5-game lead on the Atlanta Braves, depending on what they do tonight against the Angels, where I do believe Chris Sale is on the mound, so that probably will be a win for them, just because it is Chris Sale in the way that he has been pitching this year. So most likely it'll go back to an 8-game lead, but you never know. But you never know at the end of the day. So yeah, I think that's good for here. Get to some of you guys here in the live chat before we end it off, and say sayonara for the rest of the night. So Star Wars, how you doing, man? I haven't seen you in a bit. Sanchez gets a round of applause. Oh yeah, he was amazing tonight. Definitely was. Sean will be proud of Howard driving in runs. Let the offense light up now. Austin, clearly this team was just waiting for me to lose. Well, Austin in this context is talking about me. He was waiting for you to lose your mind before going on a 4-game win streak. You and I were defending against the Doomers until the last possible moment. Maybe that's maybe they needed Amadeo to get negative. Maybe they needed Amadeo to get negative. Because like I said, if you're a frequent in the BrodesMedia Discord, if you pay for the BrodesMedia membership, I was jokingly being negative during that 6th inning when the Phillies scored the runs. And every time I talked shit, that's when they scored. So everyone just kept saying, Amadeo, stay negative. You're not allowed to be positive. Kenny Pickett got sacked 3 times in preseason. Oh, God. Oh, God. Classic. When is the Eagles' next preseason game, actually? Preseason. When's their next game? That's a Saturday against the Vikings. Saturday against the Vikings at 1 o'clock. You know what I was thinking? Sean, if you're still in here, Howie Roseman should try to trade Kenny Pickett to the Vikings because they're desperate with all the injuries. They're desperate. They just lost their quarterback they just drafted, J.J. McCarthy. And now I believe it's Sam Darnold that they have as the other option. So I would think the Vikings probably would want another quarterback. So I would try to take advantage of a very desperate team there. That's all I'm saying. Because, Tanner McKee deserves to be the backup quarterback for the Eagles because just looks really 20 billion times better than Pickett does. Tanner McKee can actually throw the ball more than 5 yards. He can actually hit targets. He looks steady, calm, and collected there in the pocket. Even though, obviously, Jalen Hurts is the guy, but you still need a guy that could be a backup. And Tanner McKee looks like the more quality backup than anything Kenny Pickett has delivered. Jesus. So, yeah, I think that'll do it for tonight, everybody. Good win by the Phils. Good series win. But it'll be nice, even nicer, if you can get a series sweep tomorrow. Taiwan Walker's on the bump, so nothing is guaranteed. So offense, I would like for the offense to go off tomorrow, just to guarantee it even more. So that'll do it for tonight, everybody. I appreciate you all for tuning in. So don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Does me a great deal of service. And also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Thanks, guys, for tuning in tonight.